on my way home, I wanted to make an official prediction of what I think the final experiment will yield, what the results of the final experiment shall be. This will be a short video, so I'm going to be home in just a few minutes. But I figured while I was driving, I'd throw it down here. This is what I think might happen if they go. This is assuming that they go to Antarctica to see if there's a 24-hour sun. I think what might happen, which would be entertaining for me, which would be, I think what they're going to see is they'll see the sun set, but they'll see the sun come back up way before expected. Because God and nature, it just has a way of sort of doing its thing and surprising you. I think all these people that are going, it'd be kind of funny if they all came home with their tail between their legs, scratching their heads going, what the fuck? Globers and flat earthers alike. Be like, look, the sunset, they'd be all celebrating, woo, flat earth, woo. And then the sun comes back up a few hours later and be like, wait, what? Globers are like, what? Hey now, what's up, logical observations? It's just a thought. I'm always trying to find some new alternative way of looking at something. And from what I've heard from a few different people now, well, is that the sun does set, or it's supposed to be 24 hours of sun. It does set, but then it's back in a few hours, 4 hours later, which doesn't make sense on either model, which is entertaining. I think it leaves you guessing. I think either that will happen, or they'll just see the sunset and it'll come back up when they expect it to, when the flat earthers. I mean, I'm flat earther all the way. It's regardless of what they see there in Antarctica, it's going to take a lot more than the sun to make me believe in upside down people. Sorry, it's just, I know that the globe model predicts that, and that would be pretty interesting if that's what they see down there, especially considering all the evidence that we've seen prior to that was strongly leaning in the other direction. The fact that when flat earth first hit the mainstream, within this past 10 years, Jaronism, I think he was the guy that started this, there wasn't any evidence of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And the only evidence that existed was the 24-hour cam that was recording in that, I think it was Amundsen Scott or whatever, I forget how to pronounce it. It's at a base where there's supposed to be 24 hours of sun time. And Jaron checked the footage that they had available, which looked like a 24-hour sun footage. But if you look closely, you see that there's 8 hours missing from every video, every one of them. So there is technically zero footage of the 24-hour sun at that point in time, 2015-ish. And Jaron contacted them. Probably anybody watching this video already knows all this, but just for the record, I mean, after Jaron contacted them and they got back to him, they admitted that they edited out the dark hours, basically admitting that there is no 24-hour sun there. And then, shortly after that, a bunch of other videos started showing up of 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and a couple of which were completely debunked. One of which, the people that made it actually admitted they fucking faked it. And it's well, that really looks bad. And, at that point, I wouldn't trust any video that comes, because there wasn't any videos before that. How do you, they say, we know that there's 24 hours of sun in Antarctica for a long time or whatever, but how do they know that if there wasn't any fucking evidence of it, there wasn't any videos of the 24-hour sun up until it was pointed out that there wasn't any, and then some showed up that were fake. I mean, that's so far, at that point, any logically thinking person, thinking critically, would have to say, well, this is clearly a bogus claim. There's no 24-hour sun there. It's bogus. And then we have, what's his name? Jesus Freak Computer Geek. I think his name's Dave, maybe. He worked down in NASA. He worked for NASA, and he was down in Antarctica during that period of time where it's supposed to be 24 hours of sun. And he said that you don't see the sun for 24 hours, although you do see it, although it is light for 24 hours, you don't see the sun for 24 hours. So that was further verifying that the 24-hour sun is bullshit. We've seen lots of other people that have worked down there. I've seen several videos of people that were down there claiming that the sun sets, but it stays light. And we know we have a way of explaining that with the coffee cup caustic phenomena, where there's, where the sun actually is reflecting around the whole entire ring that surrounds the Earth, causing it to be light for 24 hours. That's a real phenomena that can take place. From the evidence that I've seen, it seems like it's possible. And so, with all that in mind, and all the testimony that I've listened to, I don't think they're going to see a 24-hour sun there the way it's supposed to be seen. I think they're going to see the sun set. But I think there might be a surprise twist that's thrown into the whole experience, which is like the sun might come up earlier than they thought it would. A lot earlier. Like if it comes up like 4 hours later, that fucks their whole model up. The AE model and the globe model, which I think would be kind of entertaining for me, because I think it would be fun to see everybody come home with their tail between their legs, scratching their head saying, "What the fuck?" I'd find that entertaining, and it would just give everybody something to think about, and it would debunk the globe model. Although I could totally see Neil deGrasse Tyson coming on TV, not long after that, and saying something about how, well, technically the Earth is bigger, a little bit bigger, or just saying that it's because it's pear-shaped and they weren't far enough south to see the 24-hour sun. It turns out that you have to go further south and blah, 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 and sort of backpedaling, but still claiming the globe is real. I can see that happening. Because Neil deGrasse is due to go down there shortly after these guys are due to go down there. So they're going to be like, I heard about Neil deGrasse's trip down there after I heard about the final experiment. So, Neil deGrasse, I feel like his whole job, his whole position exists strictly because of the flat Earth. Like he's the guy that's like trying to keep everybody on the globe, and he refuses to debate flat earthers because but it's like it comes up in his bit, like he'll talk about the Earth being flat or how it couldn't be flat or this and that. He mentions it like his job is to keep flat Earth at bay. And so it's just a coincidence, I guess, that he ends up having a trip scheduled to go down there right after the final experiment fuckers go down there. Well, I'm not calling them fuckers, but I think Duffy's a fucker. I like Jaron and Will and Whitson. I don't have anything against them. I think they're good candidates to go down there. And if they come back with a video of the 24-hour sun and they're acting kind of fishy, if they come back with a video of the 24-hour sun, I'm going to be scrutinizing the fuck out of those guys. And I honestly won't believe it until I go down and see it myself. That's how strongly I feel about them not seeing it. I don't think there is a 24-hour sun down there. I really don't. I've heard other flat earthers recently claiming that there is one, and I think that's strange. But I wouldn't make that claim. There's not nearly enough evidence. There's not any evidence, really. The evidence is fake. I know there's a bunch more videos that have showed up that haven't. Are we to think that AI couldn't create something like that? You can deep fake a lot of things at this point. And I'm pretty sure, the powers that be, or whatever you want to call them, they have technology better than what your average Joe has their hands on. Although you wouldn't guess that by watching what NASA NASA presentation was fucking shite. You would think that they could make a better space movie. But, the whole thing is just questionable, and I've got my heels again, man. Flat and stationary, that's where I'm at, and that's where I'll always be, because it doesn't really matter what you say about Earth. Nobody's looking at the whole Earth in one glance. Nobody's doing that, so nobody really fucking knows. And as far as what we're all dealing with here on Earth, well, we experience a flat and stationary Earth. That's what we experience. And that's also how we have to treat the Earth, as though it was flat and stationary. So any other information other than flat and stationary is just a moot point. It's nothing you got to worry about. It's nothing that's going to change your experience or how you treat the Earth. It's a moot point. It's fucking bullshit. It's just a bunch of fucking fancy pants science talk that really doesn't amount to jack shit. Nobody has to account for their information. Nobody has to worry about the curvature or the motion. It's all just a bunch of fucking nonsense. And, so for that matter, it's not really even a debate. I mean, I don't think you need to debate objective reality. Personally, I don't see the point in doing that. So that's my prediction, though. I think they're either gonna flat Earth is gonna win, or there's gonna be some bullshit like this going on where Neil deGrasse is gonna play damage control and fucking, they're gonna try to prolong the hoax as long as they can. The Earth ain't a globe. Earth ain't spinning. We all know this. Anybody that's being honest will tell you the same thing. It's about honesty. Like, how do you treat the Earth? How do you experience the Earth? That's all we're really working with here. We don't have anything else to go on. We could refer to what we saw on TV or what, but that's not science. That's just, appeals to authority or fallacy. It's nothing that I find to be remotely true. Oh, I got dark. I'm home. I gotta get off the air here, off the internet.